Got it.
Does it say it on your end too?
It does, yeah. It
Oh,
lets me
okay.
know. Yeah. Who's this creep recording me? Our Zoom call.
I told you I was gonna record. Yeah, I'm a creeper. Hey, welcome into episode 12 of the Avetts And Beyond. I have Dan Zlotnick with me again this week. First two-time guest on
Yeah.
the show.
The
Now,
co-host,
yeah,
guest,
well,
whatever you want to call me.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say that, I want to check in with you often to see what's going on because you got so much going on all the time. When you come on, I'm not going to say he's my guest. You're my co-host.
Well, I appreciate that.
Why don't we do that?
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
To everyone listening. Yeah.
if you're okay with that, I will say that you're my
Absolutely.
co-host when you come on. If you have any ideas that you want to throw out there or
Yeah.
throw into the show, please.
No, it'll be like, how people used to think Steve Martin was a cast member of SNL just because he had hosted so many times. So I get,
Well,
like
that is
they're
true.
gonna think this is my show.
This is well, yes,
Having me
because
back.
you're a better guitar player than me and a better singer than me. So people want to hear that more than me singing anyway. But so cool. So my co-host this week is Dan Zlotnick, who's back again. And you've had like a wicked busy week this week, haven't you?
Yes. Yeah, of course, like Valentine's Day, I have this I guess this is my second year doing it, but there's a Latin restaurant that I've played some great shows before, and like of course, Valentine's Day is on a Tuesday this week, so I've got Tuesday,
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
Wow.
and my
So,
fingers are a little bit sore already.
oh
So
man, so I'm gonna make you play something else. You're great.
no, you can make me play.
On your
It's
night
my
off.
job.
This is your
Yeah.
one night off, and you're
No.
gonna I'm making you play. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy. So the Latin place, that sounds pretty cool. Do you play like Latin tunes or just your regular
No, and
stuff?
I think a lot of people are surprised when they show up and they see a white guy with an acoustic guitar playing folk rock and whatever. But it's a really nice crowd. It's a very diverse crowd too.
Yeah,
So there's I'm meeting fans that I don't typically see at my folk country shows, and
that's cool though.
it's very cool. Plus the food is great, the drinks are great, the vibe is great. I play in front of a fireplace, and there's like
Nice.
because of the fireplace, it has like a little bit of a stage, so there's a really cool ambiance. It's not just your typical bar gig.
What's the name of the place? You might as well give them a shout out.
Yuka's Latin Fusion, Yuka,
And where is it located?
in Croton on Hudson, New
Oh,
York.
okay.
So
That for people that aren't familiar with downstate, where is that exactly?
it's along the Hudson River. It's about an hour north of New York City.
Is it on a
So
Croton? Whatever a
Croton,
Croton
yeah.
is?
So Croton, yeah.
What is a Croton?
A Croton? It's a town. I don't
Oh,
know.
it's
Yeah.
It's Croton on
Yeah.
Hudson.
It's a Croton on Hudson, yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
But then there's also Croton Falls. I don't want to get into it, but they're very different places.
Yeah, man, we only have so much time here. We don't need a
Yeah.
geography lesson here
Yes.
today. But that's cool. So you got gigs all the rest of the week into the
Yep.
weekend. And you have some new music coming out too that you want. That's
Yeah,
why I wanted
so
to have you back on because you got some new
I
stuff
think the
coming out.
last time I was on the show, I was talking about my single that came out in January, and my plan for this year is to release new music every month.
Cool. Okay.
So it's not necessarily new songs, but new versions, old versions, new arrangements, and then obviously some new songs as well. So last month was Feeling It Too, which is a brand new song.
Love that song. By
This
the way.
month, thank you. This month is She's a Little Bit, which is a live version from our 2021 show at Daryl's House Club in Pauling. And it was just kind of like we got this killer version of the song. The mix sounded great from the board.
That's cool.
And we're just popping it right on Spotify, and
That's got to feel good when you
listen.
have a live version of a song that you love that much that you're going to release as a single.
Yeah, and it's
That's
funny
cool.
because I don't usually go back when I'm writing and recording songs. I listen to my stuff a lot,
Yeah.
but I don't usually go back to like the older albums. And so I went back and listened to the She's a Little Bit that we had released, and I was like, damn, this live version is so much better. We really crushed it. So that's kind of exciting too. It's like it gives it a new life, and it's a more recent representation of the band and me and all of that fun stuff. So
Yes.
it's fun to be able to release it.
So when is it coming out?
February 24th.
Okay. So that's pretty soon.
Yeah.
So can we go on like Spotify like with the last song and pre-save it and all that good stuff?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can actually I the link to do that is I don't know if you can do it through Spotify, but there's a link at danzlotnick.com/links.
Oh,
I
okay.
put a little button at the top there so you can pre-save it to your Spotify, and that helps me get on people's release radars and show up in other people's um, you know, libraries or whatever
Sure.
their mixes when they're letting Spotify run.
Right, right. And that's I know the last song that you released, you played the worldwide debut on this show.
That's
So
true.
that was pretty exciting on for me at least, no one else,
Yes.
but for me at least, to be able to say that. But so this song will be coming out soon. You can go pre-save it and all that stuff. Are you gonna play it a version for us here tonight?
Absolutely, yeah, and I've
All
played
right.
this a million times, um, but nothing will be better than the live version that if you pre-save it.
Well, this one may
You
be
know,
better,
this
but
might be better. Um,
and then I want to hear about
but
Daryl's house after too.
sure,
Don't let me forget that.
absolutely, absolutely. So here we go. She's a little bit, just a second. She's a little bit, all day long. She's a little bit, always right. She's a little bit, never wrong. She's a little bit, conversation. She's a little, don't talk to me. She's a little bit, who I dream of. She's the only one I see. She's a little bit hard to read. She's a little bit of a picture book. She's a little bit, close your eyes. She's a little, okay, now look. She's a rooftop, dance twilight. She's a kiss beneath the rain. She's glowing in the sunlight. She's brighter in the shade. She's turning what I wanted into everything I need. She's a little bit just herself, and I love her totally. She's a rooftop, dancing twilight. She's a kiss beneath the rain. She's glowing in the sunlight. She's brighter in the shade. Said she's turning what I wanted into everything I need. She's a little bit just herself, and I love her totally.
Woo! That's great, man. That's a great song. I love that.
Thank you very much.
So what's that song about?
That is a song about my wife Melissa.
Okay, I was
And
hoping it was
yeah,
your wife.
luckily, luckily it's still true. And that the line about being never wrong is not only true, but it's just has come back to haunt me
Oh my gosh,
in
yeah.
so many situations.
Is she
You
sitting
know,
right there?
yeah, she's in the next room. She goes, I really am never wrong, and it's kind of true. Um, but yeah, I wrote that. My wife is Melissa.
Hmm.
And the original version that I wrote of that, which I actually might release, I've recorded a few different versions
Oh yeah.
based on the chords from the Allman Brothers song Melissa. So
Oh,
I originally wrote it as she's a little bit just a second. She's a little bit all day long. She's a little bit always right. She's a little bit never wrong. And so I'm like, just, stealing.
that's spectacular.
And I was like, you know what? It's nice, and I will maybe eventually release it,
Oh, please do. That's
but
that's
but
great.
I felt like I was like, all right, I gotta record this, and it's got to sound like a party and a celebration, and so that's why the original, the released version became that kind of country blues party song.
I love deep
Yeah.
diving on music. Hearing, I always say, people always have music. They hear music and they have their own interpretations and stuff. I
Mhm.
like to hear from the artist what it really is about. That's what I like to
Yeah.
know. So to hear that is cool.
Yeah, and there were certain things that, like, the rooftop dance at Twilight. I was thinking, like, when Melissa was living in Brooklyn, we made ramen one night and went up to the roof of her walk up, and like it was just like these great memories. And so like I still have those when I'm singing it. I can picture that bowl of ramen that we made, and that
That's
I was
awesome.
looking out at Manhattan skyline.
Well, you guys also have some pretty big news that came out since the last time we talked. Speaking
That's
of your
true. I was
wife,
kind of worried that my studio would be encroached upon as a nursery, but we found another room for the nursery. So we've got
you had to
a little
build an
baby girl
addition.
coming at the
No.
end of June.
Nice. End of June. That's, you
Yeah.
know what? That's going to be here way quicker than you think.
I know, and it's funny because when we first found out that Melissa was pregnant, we were like, "Oh, this is still so far off," and I'm like, "I have to
Mm,
cancel gigs already
yeah, man.
around
No,
the end of June. I'm booked way
it's
into there." So
right. Especially with how busy you are. I'm sure she's busy too. And
yeah,
all the prep, it's going to be here before you know it.
yeah.
These late night jam sessions are going to be a thing of the past. I have
Yeah.
a bad
Yeah,
feeling.
and I'm really excited for it.
Oh, yeah.
It's
There's
it's
nothing like it, man.
amazing.
I've done it 3 times.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than it. It goes so fast.
Mm,
Just cherish every moment when they're babies because
I
it
appreciate
it
that. Yeah.
really doesn't last. It's not,
Yeah.
and when you're in it, a
Yeah.
little parent advice. I'm sure you've heard it from everyone that has kids.
Yeah.
But when you're in it, it feels like it takes forever. But
Mm,
seriously, if you blink your eyes, your kid's in college like mine.
yeah. Yeah. No,
my my
I
oldest is in college, and my son, who's my middle child, is going to be a senior in high school next year. So
yeah.
it goes
No,
so
I
fast.
appreciate that. That's sound advice, especially when, we've got so many things running around, and, you know,
It,
it'll be good to make sure we take some time to just sit there and be with our family.
yeah, take lots of pictures too.
Yes.
And when the second kid comes, take lots of pictures of that kid too,
Right.
and the third kid, because
Right.
you kind
They'll
of
start
forget.
complaining that they're not the favorites. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like the baby books. We have
Yeah,
baby books, and
I'm
the
sure.
first one's full. The second one's kind of full. The third one, like, we put her picture in it.
Yeah,
That's about it. And
that's
sad.
very
It's
funny.
just sad, but it just happens, man. Dude, life gets
Yeah,
busy, and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so anyway, congratulations on
Well,
that.
thank you.
I'm excited for you guys. And
Thank you so much.
how old will she be when you hand her a guitar for the first time?
A couple days old, I
Yeah, a
think.
couple days. Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll get her.
But
She can co-host too. That's
yeah, no, exactly, exactly. But I was thinking maybe keys, because we've been kind of the three-piece band. We could use some keys, but no.
there you go.
It's,
Whatever works, right?
yeah.
Throw her
No, but
right
it's
into the
fun, and
mix.
this is like kind of how I started playing, was that my parents had guitars laying around the house, and some of our friends, and Melissa definitely jokes that, like, we have an instrument in every room of the house. So,
That's
it,
great.
it
Well,
might seep in, it might not, but we'll
and
see.
then you can't force it on them.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. You can't force anything.
Yeah.
Whatever they want to do, but the odds are there
Yeah.
that she'll
Right.
be some kind of a
Well,
musician at some
there's
point.
going to be opportunity if she.
Yeah, plenty of opportunity. All right,
Yeah.
so going back, I want to talk about Daryl's house. I didn't want to
Hmm.
forget about this. Where this song recording is from.
Yep.
Tell me about this place, because it's awesome. It's Daryl Hall,
Yeah.
right?
It's owned by Daryl Hall from Hall and Oates, and Peter Moshe is Hall and Oates' longtime sound engineer who mixed and recorded their early albums. all their live tours and everything. And he's just like he kind of runs the place. Peter does.
Yeah.
People have said that Daryl will show up, but I haven't ever seen him at the shows that I've played there.
Oh man.
And it's just it's a beautiful stage. Everything is made to make the music sound good
Yeah.
and look good and for the artist to feel good. So there's a great backstage area with multiple rooms. There's a place like touring musicians who have their dogs on the tour bus. There's a yard in the back for the
Really?
dogs.
Oh,
Like
that's cool.
it's set up the way that a music venue should be set up. And one thing they offer is um to video and audio record the show. So both times that we've played there as like an evening ticketed show,
Yeah.
they have like a 5 or 7 camera setup that's already built into the
That's cool.
rafters of the venue, and you set up and they've got screens going while you're playing. And this is a small place. I think it caps at like 150 people.
Oh wow.
Kind of like dinner service and a show, and it's just like you go there and you're like you feel like you're in the big leagues. Like this is
That
really
is cool.
It's,
Now, is it packed out every time someone plays there, or?
Not always. We
Yeah.
like the first time we played there, we had about 40 people there.
Well, that's still a
This
good
past
chunk
time
of
we got
people.
up to 64, 65. So it was great. And it, there's if you're getting to 150 people, there's kind of like a separate bar area. There are people standing in the back. So
Yeah.
it really can feel full without a full crowd.
Yeah, what a cool intimate venue. I've seen the videos
Yeah.
of your shows there and stuff, and it just seems like a really cool place.
Yeah, and they've got great food too, and
Nice.
all the people that work there are great music fans. They take care of the bands incredibly well, and then you're sitting in the back looking at who's played there, and it's Amanda Shires and I'm trying to think of other people. You might know Driftwood. They're like an upstate New York band.
I think I've heard of them.
Yeah,
I'm not
they're
sure.
from the Finger Lakes. They're
Oh,
amazing.
okay.
But yeah, it's just you're looking at the wall and you're going, wow, there's been some pretty cool people that have played this stage. And so
That is cool.
always feel lucky to be able to play there.
See, here I thought you were hanging out with Daryl Hall.
Yeah, no,
You haven't had a chance to meet him yet?
no.
No?
Although they some of like like the live from Daryl's house show.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking it
sometimes
was
is
like.
actually at his house, which is
Right.
nearby. Sometimes they clear out the venue of the tables and kind of make it look like his house, but it's got this very cool pine vibe to it, so it does
Yeah.
kind of look like a living room if you throw a couple area rugs down.
Yeah, nice.
So,
Now, I've seen those shows too, where he like plays with the bands and
Yep.
stuff, doesn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. So okay, well maybe someday.
Yeah, one day. Yeah.
Someday you'll get there.
Yeah.
You also went to Folk Alliance this year, right?
Yes, and that was like my head is still spinning. I still have a stack of business cards on my desk of people that I want to reach out to
Yeah,
follow
tell
up
me
with.
about this because I'm sure a lot of people listening to this have no idea what it's about. I remember
Yeah.
watching the Bernie sisters last
Mhm.
year when they went to Folk Alliance. They were, raving about this, and I didn't quite understand it. So I looked it up. I'm like, oh man, this is a cool thing.
Yeah.
So tell me how it was for
and
you.
this is exactly what happened. So it came up as like, oh, this is something that I might like to do. I know the Bernie sisters have gone, so let me reach out to April
Yeah.
and see what she says. And she was like, you have to go. You don't have to worry about what you're doing or where you're staying or whatever. Just go and just be near these people. And so it's basically a an enormous hotel in Kansas City, holds about 2,000 people for this weekend from Wednesday through Sunday. And it's panels, it is discussions, it's workshops. I did like a speed dating event with folk DJs where you're going around with your CD and you've got 30 seconds to pitch to a DJ and say, hey,
Really?
listen to this song, listen to this song.
Oh my
It's
God.
super cool. And it's broken up by the region of the US, international. There's Canada. There were bands from Sweden there. It was like,
Wow.
and you're just walking around and meeting people, and then after all these panels and workshops, there are official showcases which are run by the Folk Alliance, which are kind of like artists that have really gained some traction and are on their way up.
Yeah.
And you go watch those until 10 o'clock at night, and then at 10:30, floors 5 through 8 of the hotel, every single room has private showcases.
Hmm.
So booking agencies, management companies, um, I'm trying to think what else, who else would be there, like just kind of like radio organizations are showcasing people in those hotel rooms. Every single hotel room, it kind of looks like, if you have ever been to like Broadway in Nashville, like every bar has a musician.
Right.
It's every room in a hotel floor has a concert going, and they're
Wow.
pretty much
How do they pull that off?
Oh, I don't know, and I would hate to be like a regular guest in this hotel, because it is just like there's just music emanating from the middle of this hotel from 10:30 p.m. to 3 o'clock in the morning
But
every night.
people can't be there that aren't involved with this, are they?
There
I,
are people there, but I have no idea where they stay. And
oh my
but so
gosh.
like
Can
those
you
floors, I
imagine
would
if you weren't
assume, are
there
all
for that?
musicians. What's
Can
that?
can you imagine if you weren't there for the event
Oh,
and
I
you're
would be
staying at that hotel?
miserable.
Oh,
Yeah, and
that'd be like,
you're
what
walking
is going
around, and
on?
people are playing in the lobby, and like, it would be awful. It's kind
Yeah,
of like,
exactly.
like when you get on the subway and you're like, oh, there's like a band is about to start playing. Like I didn't sign up for this. That's how I would feel.
I would think
But
most people are
then
there
you're
for the
like,
thing, though.
I wander into a hotel room and it's like Steve Poltz and Sean Mullins
Oh
and
wow.
Mary Bragg and Matt the electrician, and they're just like right in front of you in a hotel room playing their songs, and it's like, this is the coolest thing ever. And then you walk around the next day and you see them and you're like, hey, Sean Mullins, like, I'm in line to get barbecue. I'm like, hey, you were awesome last night, like,
So
and
that's cool
you
though. You
start
get to
meeting
pick their
people.
brain and stuff, and
Yeah, it's really like just meeting people. I was sitting the first night I got there, I was sitting in the lobby just kind of deciding what to do for dinner.
yeah.
And a guy sits down, we start chatting. We both have our lanyard things on, so we know we're both part of the conference. And it turns out he's like this like big time booking agent. He's like,
Oh,
"You want to go get a bite to eat?" And I'm like, "Sure." So you
jeez.
end up having dinner, and it doesn't have to be like a business thing, but it is like, I learned so much about what people who have a booking agency or a manager or PR people or radio promoters or people doing sync licensing to try to get their songs in commercials and things,
Oh wow.
like all of this stuff that I'm doing on my own. I was like, I've left feeling a little bit more forgiving of feeling overwhelmed, or
Right.
feeling like things are moving slowly because I'm doing everything by myself. So it
How
was
cool
very
is that
cool.
though, to be able to learn stuff that you might not have, picked up on your own going around doing,
Totally. And
your own thing.
there's like an exhibit hall where you can just kind of walk around, and people have booths, and one person, it was like this radio promoter. I kind of explained what I was doing with the one single per month, and she gave me this great tip. She's like, if you ever wanted to take your stuff to radio, package your year as an album, and then we'll take that to radio with 2 new songs or something, whatever it is. and
Yeah.
and you just get lots of insight, because there's so many ways to do things. I think every artist feels like there is a right way, and I don't know what it is. And being at this conference with 2,000 people allows you to go, okay, everybody's just trying to play cool shows like that. That's all everyone wants to do. Whether
Right.
you're an agent or a manager, it's like everyone wants just to put on a great music event for fans and for the artists. So there's a million ways to do that, and that was kind of fun to be amongst that.
Yeah, what a neat event. Is that happens every year, right?
Every year, yeah.
So
And then
are you going
there are
back next
regional
year?
ones.
Oh.
It's possible. One of the things I want to get into, especially with the baby coming, is
Oh, the
the
baby.
NERFA, which is the Northeast Regional Folk Line. So it's a
Right.
little bit more concentrated. It's a little bit less of, I made a lot of great connections, but I don't know when I'm going to be able to get to Colorado or New
Eh,
Mexico to play those shows with the people that I met.
Right, right.
So being able to say, all right, I can scoot out to Massachusetts for a weekend, or up to Maine, or it's a little bit easier if I can stick within the New York region.
Definitely, especially if the baby's playing guitar by then,
Yeah, yeah.
print her up some business cards and
Exactly.
get a little lanyard
Stick around
for
so
her.
she'll get the headphones. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's all good. That actually probably would be a good selling point for you.
I know.
Yeah, I have a musical baby.
Exactly.
Uh,
Exactly. Kids
anyway,
Yeah.
Very, very cool. I did. You got to play there, right? While you were there, I saw a
Yeah,
video.
so
Obviously, you didn't record yourself playing. Someone recorded you playing and
yes.
posted that.
Yeah. It was actually a band called the Couldn't Be Happiers. Was a they're a Greensboro or Winston-Salem, North Carolina based band.
Nice.
And I met them through Tanya Marsh, who is an Avett Brothers
Yeah.
connection of mine. So that was kind of cool to have, at least one semi-familiar face when I first got there. But yeah, I played there the first night. It was the first private showcase, and I didn't have any more showcases after that. So I kind of like, you're watching music all day and you're like, oh my God, I just want to play. I just want to play. Like, this is so
Yeah.
fun.
Right.
So I would go back to my room and play for a little bit, or there were some song circles where you could just kind of like, everyone would lead a song and you jam, and that kind of got my yah-yahs out. But
Yeah. What kind of feedback did you get? Did you get good feedback?
it was great. Yeah. I mean, the Couldn't Be Happiers were super nice. There was an artist named Joy Clark who has played with like Brandy Carlisle and Allison Russell. She stopped um into my showcase, and it's fun because like everyone makes commitments to say, all right, I've got all these people that I want to go see, and when they stay for like multiple songs, you're like, wow, that was kind of cool. They stayed for a second song because you're just kind of popping in and out. So
Yeah. Right.
that was
Right.
the kind of the best feedback that I felt like I got, was like people hanging out and clapping and seeing more than one song.
That's great. That's got to feel good.
Yeah.
And I knew this was going to happen because the time goes so fast.
Oh,
I
I
said, "Oh,
know.
this is just going to be a quick hitter thing. We're going to just talk about a few things and we'll
Yeah.
see how it goes." We got like 8 minutes left here on
Yeah.
the recording, but what else do you have coming up that you want to talk about? I know you're busy.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think. Like in the next couple days, I'm gonna be playing in Port Chester near the Capitol Theater at a
Okay.
place called Run and Hide Brewing Company before Brandy Carlisle plays at the Cap.
Oh,
So it's kind of like an unofficial pre-show. Like you want to come hang and have a couple drinks.
so
I'm
you're
doing that.
opening for Brandy Carlisle, basically. Kind
Yeah, she doesn't know it, but yeah,
of.
we're in the same town, playing before her. I guess that counts.
You're opening
Um,
for her, man. That
And then,
counts.
yeah, and then, She's a Little Bit, the live version comes out February 24th. And what's kind of cool about this plan is like, I'm really feeling it out. I'm trying to see what I want to do next. And I've got a few different songs that I've recorded. Some, we just played at Daryl's house last week. The recording that's coming out next week is from a couple years ago.
Right, right.
This show, I'm pouring through that and going, okay, what could come out maybe in March or April, and really taking it kind of show by show. And even this Saturday we're playing at Argonne Rose Brewery, which is a new place, and we're able to record that show as well. So that'll be a lot of fun. We have John Cobert playing keys with us. He used to tour with John Lennon, who was
Who?
who was
Never
in the
heard of him.
Beatles. Yeah. And the other thing, this is my favorite John Cobert story, is that he wrote the theme song for Baseball Tonight. So
What?
that
Really?
is like it's cooler than John Lennon to me. Dun, 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 dun,
Well,
dun.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, he's playing with the band and he's just phenomenal. So
He
that'll be a
wrote
lot
that
of fun.
song.
Yeah,
That's
that's him. Yeah,
Does he get paid like every time that plays on
I'm
the
sure
air,
he
or
does.
I
I'm
wonder how
sure.
that works?
Yeah.
Or if it was like a lump sum thing at the beginning. I mean,
Right.
because that's been playing for a long time
I
on
know. I
ESPN.
know.
That's nuts.
So
So, what do you got
that's
going on
exciting.
with baseball too? I know you're doing baseball stuff too right now.
Baseball, I'm coaching. This is kind of my ramp up into the high school season. So a lot of my clients right now are my high school guys. Once the tryouts start with them, I move usually into my younger kids who are getting ready for
Sure.
the in-house kind of spring season, which is a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
um, and so yeah, pretty much every day I'm changing in a bathroom somewhere, from baseball clothes to music clothes, and trying to
You
shower in the sink at a gas station somewhere. And
awesome.
yeah,
So
so
someone's
but
gonna
it's
walk in and be like, "Oh my God, Dan Zlotnick is
yeah,
changing and showering in the sink here."
exactly. Well, I told Melissa, I was like, as much as this is a little bit of a pain to do all this, and like my car is a mess all the time because of all the stuff that I have in it, I'm like, I still don't think I could ever go back to doing a job where I was on someone else's time or
Nah,
doing
man,
what they wanted me to do. So
you
I'm
don't
very
have
lucky
to.
to be able to have these two things as my, as my income, and I get to do super cool things like run away to Folk Alliance for 5 days, and
Very cool. Yeah.
it's
Well,
pretty awesome.
enjoy that until the baby comes, and
I will. I will.
that's going to be a tough sell
She'll
next
be the
year.
boss, no doubt about that. Yeah.
How's the shoulder feeling? Still good?
Shoulder's still good. I think I got up to 75 the other day without a warm up. So,
Nice.
I'm
That's
not getting a call to spring training, but I still got a little left.
and that doesn't sound impressive to people that don't know baseball, but I mean, 75 when you haven't been playing regularly is still pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, if I was training, I think when I was like really in shape throwing, I could still get up into the mid 80s.
Nice.
So,
what was your top? You said what, like 92, 93?
95.
95? Oh, see, I was off. My bad. Yeah, it was loud when we were
shortchanging me, man.
Yeah, that's bad. I know, that's
Glory
awful.
days,
98, 99, right? It was loud that night that we were talking baseball in that bar. So,
oh, that's the other thing. So I'm definitely gonna release the Talking Yanks theme song.
Oh, nice, nice.
That'll be kind of like probably around opening day for the Yankees.
Dude, that's your baseball tonight right there.
Yeah, baseball tonight. Yeah, who cares about baseball tonight? I did the Talking Yanks theme song.
Can you? I've got 4 minutes. Can you play that?
Yes.
For anyone that doesn't know, Talking Yanks is a podcast that John Boy and Jake do on John Boy Media, and Dan wrote the song, and Jimmy's talked about you a lot over the years and stuff. That's how I, got to know you from that. Yeah. And I love this song, and I've always made you play it. And surprisingly, I didn't ask you to play it last time.
Well, it's great because it's 30 seconds long.
Right? So. Yeah, it's short. So let's go.
Well, here we go. I remember. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, steaming hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talking Yanks. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake.
Yes, love it. Now you own. Yeah, that's what was happening in my brain too.
Yeah.
So you own that song though, right? He doesn't own that song now.
I don't really know who owns it. I think it's kind of take me out to the ball game, but I did. I reached out to him and I said, if this ever messes up your ability to monetize your podcast, just let me know.
He'll dump you in a second.
Yeah.
Bye. No, I love that song. Thank you for playing that. That's
my pleasure.
All right. So
definitely my most listened to song.
It's got to be, right? With all the listens he's had over the last few years. Baseball's coming. I'm excited for baseball. I'm just so happy that the guys are back at spring training now. And it was 70 degrees in central New York today and sunny, which is not normal for February 15th. It was crazy today. So that was like a taste of spring that we didn't expect up here.
I know.
Was it warm? It must have been warm down there too.
Yeah, it was in the mid 60s. We had I had 2 of my baseball lessons outside today.
Nice. Yeah. Whoever does that in February in New York?
Right?
No one.
I mean, that was like my days in Tampa. I was like, oh, this is normal, but up here, not so normal.
Nah. All indoors until like the season starts normally. But all right, Dan, thank you so much for coming on with me.
It's my pleasure.
The single comes out on the 24th. Go what is it? Pre-save it. I want to say pre-order it. You're not pre-ordering, you're pre-saving it. And I would look forward to it coming out.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Todd.
Yeah. Till next time. Till next time when you co-host with me.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Todd.
Yep.